Well, good evening and good to be back with you on Geelong Newsbeat and maybe for some on YouTube, who knows. I must admit that when it comes budget time, both state and federal, notwithstanding the fact that the papers spend pages and pages on it, I don't look at it all that much because, rightly or wrongly, I take the attitude that, well, it's going to cost me what it's going to cost me, and whether it's petrol that goes up or taxes that go up or other things that come down, it'll just be what happens. And it's all over in Red Rover and there's not much I can do about it. And I would suspect that that's the way a lot of people go, notwithstanding the fact, as I say, that the papers put so much emphasis on it. However, this year's federal budget has been a little different, and in particular the protests of pensioners, in terms of the fact that they really haven't got much of an increase, if anything, or in real terms. And we had a protest a week or so ago in the middle of Melbourne City, where pensioners indicated that they really felt they were getting a raw deal. And I'd have to say, certainly from my perspective, I don't know about yours, but from my perspective it seems that they've certainly got a case. One of the things which I suppose is the word pension itself is one that perhaps for some people it almost has a connotation of living off the public purse, and that's not the fact at all. The reality is that people who are pensioners, old age pensioners, disability pensioners, are people who put in and have put in many cases, in the case of age pensioners, maybe for decades. They've paid their taxes, they've supported those who've gone before them, and in many ways they've built the nation which has the prosperity that the rest of us take for granted. And in the long run, when it comes that they're getting on a little bit in years and are no longer able to be in the workforce, often enough they put in so many different ways in voluntary capacities as well. I know down here at the Geelong Hospital there's lots of people who work in a voluntary capacity. Some of them would be on the pension, others are significantly younger. But that volunteerism just cannot be in any way underestimated. So what is the plight of the pensioner today? Well, next time you fill up your car, you'll have a bit of an idea of where it goes for them, because without any extra money coming in, they're probably putting in double what they were putting in for petrol a while back. I think there was a table in the paper a few days ago which indicated that just 10 years ago, petrol was about 60 cents a litre. Now it's about $1.70. And that makes travelling, which is an integral part of life for all of us, extremely difficult indeed. And not to mention, of course, the flow-on costs, and there's been a lot of emphasis on this in the past couple of weeks, of what happens when all the goods that we use, especially food, of course, has to be transported. And so the costs go up and up and up. We've now got a situation where diesel, which is the main transport fuel, of course, is costing more and more, and so it's all added on at the checkout point at the supermarket. And the pensioners have to live the same as the rest of us. Those particularly who are, if one has died of a married couple, well then the other one still has to turn on the light, still has to run the television, still has to meet the normal household running costs, and their income is virtually halved. So these are the situations which I would hope that a government will have a long look at. Even you go back to the GST on fuel, the double tax on tax. These are the things which really, if in this country of supposedly the fair go, is not giving a fair go to people who are put in many cases, for decades. We've got a very prosperous nation, a very successful nation, and those who have carried this on their backs, in many cases they've served us in war, they've worked in any number of different industries, they've paid their dues, they deserve a much better go. Good to be with you on Geelong Newsbeat.